Hi students, I'm Sonia from Vidya Guru. You are actually watching May 2020 current affairs session right now. I'll start the session. Before starting, I wish to tell you something. As you guys can make out, this session is in English medium. If you're not comfortable with the language, we upload this session in Hindi medium also. Please go and watch that session if the language is not comfortable. This session is primarily made keeping South Indian students, made keeping Northeast students in mind. So please watch the entire session. By watching the session, you will understand that how much effort I put in. Believe me, I spent 3 to 4 days actually selecting the points and checking the veracity, checking the truthfulness of the points. I had to go through a lot many portals of the government, and then I actually came to this document. You will get to know by reading the points that these points are so significant that at least 4 to 5 questions will be there in your exam for sure. And I really feel that such things don't appear to be very important. Such things don't appear to be very interesting. At least you know what happens. People find them dull. But please understand, I try to make them as lively as possible. I try to speak as loudly so that you can remain attentive. And please understand, everything, whatever appears to be in your exam, you cannot like each and every subject. But these things are important, even if they are dull, if they are boring. Please believe me, but they'll be there in your exam. You have to study them. I have spent a lot of time. Make my effort fruitful by learning all the points till the end of this video. Prepare the notes for sure. If you like the session, please press the like button for sure. Share the video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel, because I feel the videos which we upload, they are beneficial for almost all the competitive exams. And press the bell icon for sure. That's how you'll get the notifications of all the exam relevant videos which we upload. I'll start the session. At the end, the revision will be done. Apart from that, I'm going to do something different out here today. When the session ends, I'll show you a few charts on the screen where I won't be present. You will be actually looking at those charts to actually briefly understand whatever is there in the package allotted by the government of India. So I'll start the video. Now you may understand that today's session, today's current affairs, they are going to be about the package announced by the government of India. So I'll start what this package is. Value of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Read it carefully, read it and remain focused. Value of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. That means Atmanirbhar, the Hindi words, they may tell you that self-reliant India. Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliant India. That is basically, a package which was announced. Value of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, that means self-reliant India package, announced by the government of India, that is 20 lakh crores. 20 lakh crores comes out to be 10% of India's gross domestic product. Yes. Now we'll start with the package, but prior to starting, I wish to tell you something else, and that is parameters, areas of focus. Parameters, areas of focus for the government of India where they'll be spending this amount. Land is the first area of focus, labor is the second, the third one is liquidity, that means we are referring to capital. Liquidity and loss, these are the areas of focus on which government of India will be spending the money. They have actually described 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat. If India is self-reliant India, they are describing that 5 pillars are there. So 5 pillars are, the number 1 is economy, the number 2 is infrastructure, the number 3 is system, the number 4 is vibrant demography, and the 5th one is demand. These are the 5 pillars described by them, that they are the pillars. They are the pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Let's move ahead. Let's actually understand these allocations and the announcements made by the government of India. We'll start with the first one, and that is collateral free emergency credit line to MSME. whichever way they have written it. I want to tell you this announcement is about providing credit, providing loan in easier terms. I wish to explain that. MSME, that means we are saying micro, small, medium enterprises. They are there. They'll be receiving more loan. Collateral free loan, that means the guarantee won't matter that much. Collateral, that means guarantee. Collateral free emergency credit line to MSME, and that is 3 lakh crore. Out of this package, 3 lakh crore will be given to MSMEs in the form of loan actually. Let's move ahead, but apart from that, I wish to tell you something else, and that is this scheme can be availed till 31st October 2020. If this package was announced, it is not that one portal was there and every single information was there. It was not the case. Believe me, these points were collected from various government portals because nothing was actually clearly stated and not on one portal. That is why the information was collected from various government portals. So be careful. Such announcements of Government of India will be asked in your exams. The second point is Partial Credit Guarantee Scheme 2.0. This is for NBFCs, this is for housing finance companies, this is for microfinance institutions. What I'm actually trying to explain here, partial credit guarantee. Here again we are talking about the loan facility, that loan will be provided. But loan will be provided to whom? To NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, and housing finance companies and microfinance institutions. But what sort of institutions? Let's say if you have an NBFC, your NBFC is not that famous NBFC, or whose reputation is not that good, or government is not much familiar about that, banks are not much familiar about that NBFC, they will hesitate to provide you loan. To your NBFC, to your MFI or to your HFC, the banks will hesitate to provide you loan because default can happen. So government is providing partial guarantee on that. What sort of partial guarantee? That means if default happens, if the person defaults on the payment, I'm talking about if NBFCs actually defaults on the payment, they are not able to repay that. Partially government will be paying that to bank, and what is that partial amount? 20%, first 20% lost covered by the Government of India. That is actually partial credit guarantee scheme. The third point, which is here, which says that reduction in TDS. You know that we deduct TDS when we get salary. When we get salary, we provide salary. Whatever is there, in which even in the case of rent, when you pay rent, TDS is deducted. Reduction in TDS is tax deduction at source. Many of you are familiar with the word TDS, but I am sure that many of you are not aware of the full form of TDS. That is why I am telling you the full form here, that is tax deduction at source. The other one is tax collection at source, that is TCS. So their limit has been reduced. So reduction in TDS, reduction in TCS. How much reduction? 25%. That means if you are reducing, if you are actually deducting 100% earlier, now you will be deducting only 75%. 25% reduction was given to you. Let's move to the other point. Credit facility for street vendors. I hope you understand when we talk about street vendors. Street vendors require money, and we all know that under these circumstances they require the money most. We are saying they'll be given 10,000 rupees. And according to Government of India, that 50 lakh street vendors are there. See, we remain in doubt that how they will be benefited, how they will be actually getting the benefit of the scheme. So according to Government of India, 50 lakh street vendors are there and they'll be benefited under the scheme. How? That Government of India will be providing them 10,000. But this is also a credit facility for street vendors up to, and read the word carefully, up to 10,000. That is not 10,000, I'm saying up to 10,000. and 50 lakh street vendors will be benefited. The next one, the next point in front of you, that is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. That's the expanded form of this word PMAY. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Credit linked subsidy scheme for middle income families, rupees 6 to 18 lakh per annum, extended till 31st March 2021. I hope you understand something here. When these points are written, you can actually get the information from RBI's website, from a government portal, but by deducing to a point, like if you are reading the entire paragraph, you won't understand what sort of question will be framed out of this paragraph. Your time will be wasted if you read the entire paragraph. So I try to bring a point straight away in front of you, and even while reading the point, I try to explain that point so that I can decode, I can make you understand these points clearly and easily. So please understand when I'm saying that when you purchase a house and under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, when you purchase a house and your salary, your family's income falls from 6 lakh to 18 lakh, then you fall in the bracket of middle income family. Those families used to get the benefit under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So some sort of subsidy used to be provided to them. Now we are saying that limit was increased. That duration, that time limit has increased, and that time limit has become till 31st March 2021. It has increased. That means this scheme, the benefit of this scheme can be availed by those people till 31st March 2021. See, because it was about to get expired soon. This subsidy, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, credit linked subsidy, this benefit was expiring soon. That is why they have increased the time limit of it till 31st March next year 2021. Viability gap. Funding by government for social infra increased from 20% to 30%. I hope by reading that, it is not easier to comprehend this sentence also. So I'll make you understand. Don't worry at all. Viability gap, that means I'm saying some things are not financially viable, financially feasible, financially right, financially beneficial, financially profitable. When Government of India prepares something or constructs something or puts money into social infras, like they are into building hospitals, they are into building schools, when they do that, they don't make much money out of it. I was saying that viability gap, when they don't make much money, viability gap funding by government for social infra, that increased from 20% to 30%. They increased actually it to 30% now. The next point is liquidity scheme for NBFCs, HFCs and MFIs worth rupees 30,000 crore. What is that? Liquidity scheme, that means their liquidity, I told you at the start, that is cash, that is capital. So again, they'll be not getting the amount straight away. I'm saying liquidity scheme, they'll be giving them loans actually. Even if bank pays them, bank provides money to NBFCs or MFIs or HFCs, they provide loan to them. Liquidity scheme wherein they'll be getting 30,000 crores more, referring to loan only. Limit of state borrowing increased from 3% to 5% of GSDP. GSDP, many of you are not aware. I am aware of that. I'm saying the entire country has GDP, gross domestic product. The income of the government from various sources of the entire country, that is country's GDP. Now we are referring to GSDP, where S stands for state. Where I can say that GSDP's full form is gross state domestic product. The income of the state is GSDP. In easier terms, I wish to explain it like that. Limit of state borrowing increased from 3% to 5%. That means earlier, let's take an example of some state. When I say Assam had the example, I'm just giving you an example to make it easier for you. I'm saying if Assam was expected to, or Assam has the GSDP of 100. Assam has the GSDP of 100. That means their gross state domestic product is 100. So as per the 100 GSDP, they were expected to get the loan of 3% earlier. Out of that 100, they were expected to get the loan of 3%. Now that limit has been increased and it has become 5%. That means out of 100, they can actually take the loan of 5% now. Earlier, it used to be 3% that they can actually take the loan of this much as per their GSDP. GSDP is probably the same, but I am saying the limit of borrowing has been increased to 5% now. The next point is commercial mining. Must be thinking of coal mining straight away. I need not even tell you the answer here because I understand that you will be able to take out the answer yourself. I know you guys are smart. Commercial mining and private sector participation introduced in coal sector. When we relate mining straight away with coal mining. We all understand that coal India is there, but only coal India is there. That's the concern. So government of India is trying to bring participation from private sector players to get into coal sector, to get into commercial mining now. So they may ask you which sector is going to introduce private players where the mining is also engaged. So coal sector is the one. Next point is no global tenders for government purchases up to 200 crores. We all know that tenders of Government of India are released. So Government of India, as they generally say, everything should be given to Indians. So they are giving priorities to Indians again. That means from outside the nation, if tenders are coming, tenders cannot be taken from outside the nation. People of India can apply for it. Institutions of India can apply for the tenders of government purchases. But people from outside, institutions or organizations from outside India cannot apply for the tenders of government purchases if the tenders are up to 200 crores. The most important thing here is that General Financial Rules 2017 was amended for it. Amended, that means when we say some sort of modification, some sort of correction is made, that word is amend. Amend means to change something, to correct something, to improve something, that is amend. So amendment happened. They may ask you in the exam which act got changed for it. See, when you make such changes, you understand that acts have to be amended. That's what happened. They ask you the question. They'll ask you the question in the exam that General Financial Rules 2017 was amended to make such a change. Rupees 2 lakh crore. Again, this credit facility will be given to farmers. How many farmers will get benefited? There are 250 crores farmers. There are 2.5 crore farmers, will be benefited, and Kisan Credit Card Scheme is the scheme through which these 2.5 crore farmers will be benefited. I'll repeat that. I was saying that rupees 2 lakh crore will be spent on farmers. How? They'll be getting that in the form of loan only. But how many farmers will be benefited? 2.5 crore farmers will be benefited. Under what? Under Kisan Credit Card Scheme, they'll be getting the benefit of it. Government to privatize non-strategic PSUs. Now you have to be very careful. When you read news and you find out that PSUs are being privatized, and you will actually come to a conclusion after reading the entire paragraph that only non-strategic ones are being privatized. No, it is not the case. Read both the points carefully. You have to answer it correctly when the question is going to be there in your exam. Be careful. I'm saying government to privatize non-strategic PSUs, we agree. Privatize, that means government is actually doing disinvestment. Disinvestment when the government is selling its share in the PSU. Disinvestment, that means government is selling its share in that PSU. That PSU will be actually sold to some private firm. That way, non-strategic PSUs will be privatized. We are saying that. But I'm saying the second point, the lower point, the sub point states something else. Read that carefully. That number of PSUs in a strategic sector will be 1 to 4. What does it mean? I was saying government in one sector. For example, defense. Defense is the sector. I'm saying if government has 7 PSUs in that sector, in defense sector, if government has 7 PSUs, strategic sector, defense has 7 PSUs. So government has the right to decide that if government is willing to keep only one and selling rest of them, government can keep 1 to 4 strategic PSUs with it and sell rest of them. So be careful, please understand that even strategic sector PSUs will be sold by the Government of India too. So Government of India can keep 1 to 4 strategic sector PSUs with it. Let's move to the other point. Operation Greens. Earlier, if you had heard, I taught you something about it, and that was TOP. TOP means tomato, onions and potatoes. Government was actually buying them from the farmers, trying to keep their produce well and trying to make these things available. That means tomato, potato and onion for us, make these things available for us, that too at a lower cost. If onions are not available, we have seen that the prices become so high. To avoid such fluctuation, to avoid such volatility, government actually is running Operation Greens program. Earlier it was TOP, now it has become Total. Don't forget that. Operation Greens extended from TOP to Total. It has become Total now. That means Total means all fruits, all vegetables will be the part of Operation Greens. The next point is program launched for digital online education. So that the name of the program is eVidya. So under this eVidya, there is one portal, there are many channels which will be made available to students to continue their studies. So PM eVidya program launched for digital online education, One Nation, One Digital platform under it. That is Diksha, that is the name of that platform basically under PM eVidya. One class, one channel initiative. I'll actually explain that once again. If suppose you are, let's suppose if you were there in 6th standard. So for 6th standard, I hope you understand, not every student has internet accessibility. Not everybody has internet. I hope you can understand that. If they find availing or the facility of internet is not available, if that is the problem. But nowadays TV is not much a bigger problem basically. TV is available, to all. So keeping that in mind, only eVidya portal has Diksha. Apart from that, they made channels available. DTH channels are available. One class, that 6th class students will have one channel, 7th class students have one channel. So for each class, they have actually made one channel available. So these channels run by Swayam Prabha, by the name of Swayam Prabha. So need to understand, if multiple channels are there by the name of Swayam Prabha, that means they are teaching kids. So one class, one channel initiative and DTH channel chains for school education, that is Swayam Prabha. That is very important. eVidya, Diksha, Swayam Prabha, all these questions are going to be there. You yourself can judge that these questions are very, very significant. Psychological counseling is required to all of us during this lockdown period. I am saying that psychological counseling initiative actually was launched for students, for teachers, and the name of that psychological counseling initiative is Manodarpan. If you know Hindi well, then also you can actually make out Manodarpan can mean that only. Psychological counseling initiative for students, for whom? For students and for teachers also. They may be stressed. That is why to help them relax, Manodarpan initiative was launched. Companies Act under Companies Act, decriminalization of defaults. Now, what does it mean? I need to explain this point as well. By reading that, I think that you could have actually come to a conclusion, and that conclusion is when companies make such a few defaults and they are not able to follow rules made by the government properly. So that thing falls into the default, that thing falls into some sort of, that thing becomes a criminal activity. So that thing will not be considered a criminal activity. They have decriminalized it. So decriminalization of defaults under Companies Act, that means if companies are not able to follow instructions of the government properly, they have decriminalized that. Please understand that it will not be a criminal activity from now on under Companies Act. Interest equalization scheme extended till 31st March. Interest equalization scheme extended till 31st March. That means what sort of interest equalization scheme is that? It is actually helping exporters. Exporters are getting subsidy for pre and post shipment rupee export credit. So they'll be actually getting the benefit of it. That means exporters will be benefited. Exporters will get subsidy under interest equalization scheme, which got extended till 31st March 2021. Obviously, I'm not referring to 2020. It is for the next year. Till next year, it has been extended. The next point is 2%. These are the things which are very, very important. 2% interest subvention on prompt repayment of Shishu Mudra loans for a period of 12 months. What does it mean? Shishu Mudra loan up to 50,000. Shishu Mudra loan up to 50,000. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is Shishu Mudra loan. When they take Shishu Mudra loan, that is up to 50,000. If somebody has taken the loan of 40,000, 10,000, 20,000, so that is Shishu Mudra loan. And when that person prepays it, when that person before finishing the duration, if that person pays it, but if that person pays it within the duration of 12 months only, if later than that person pays, that person will not be getting the benefit of it. If the person pays it before the completion of the duration, that means within the duration of 12 months, if that person pays that money back, they'll get the benefit of 2%. I am saying 2% interest subvention, that means financial support. Subvention means financial support. That sort of reduction will be there. They'll be paying 2% less. That's what I'm saying. They'll repay the loan before the completion. Within the duration of 12 months, they pay Shishu Mudra loan 2%. They'll be paying less. So what is Kishore loan? What is Tarun loan? I'll explain that here too. I'll be actually talking about the full form of Mudra, which is going to be asked, which has actually been asked in many exams earlier also. So I'll start with that. I was saying Shishu is up to 50,000. Only 50,000. There's nothing like 50,000 crore or something. Only rupees 50,000. That is Shishu loan. Kishore loan 50,000 to 5 lakh. Tarun loan, that means 5 lakh to 10 lakh comes under the bracket of Tarun loan. Mudra is micro, units, development and refinance agency. Must be thinking we are aware of the word Mudra. Mudra means money, but Mudra, I have actually written it in capital letters. That means it has some expanded form. The expanded form of it is asked in the exam. I'll actually explain that once again. M for micro, U for units, D for development and refinance agency. R&A refinance agency. That means Mudra is an agency. What sort of agency is Mudra? Mudra is a refinancing institution, refinancing agency. It does not lend directly. That is the most important point here. Mudra does not lend directly. Mudra loans are available under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, that is PMMY. They are available through PMMY, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, and it can be availed. These sort of loans can be availed from NBFCs, from microfinance institutions and banks also. So Mudra loans can be actually received from banks, NBFCs and MFIs. Even this question can be asked, where they may ask you that from where Mudra loans can be availed. The next point is additional allocation under Manrega. Now you need to understand that when we actually talk about Manrega, this provides employment to people, employment to poor people, those who are not able to get ample employment or those who are not able to earn well for themselves. So 40,000 crore allocation, more allocation for Manrega during this time. Fund of funds, that means understand that additional funds will be provided for MSMEs. They are also loans. They are not actually providing straight away or cash will be given to MSMEs. Fund of funds, that means additional money, additional funds for MSMEs up to 50,000 crores. Additional rupees 30,000 crore emergency working capital for farmers through NABARD. Additional rupees 30,000 crores, that means I am saying here farmers will be given loans again. Farmers will be given loans again. Straight away government, straight away RBI cannot go to them and provide them the loans. Somebody who's connected with them, that is NABARD, some agency which will be actually giving loan, will be giving loan to farmers, that will be NABARD. So I'm saying NABARD 30,000 crores will be given to provide emergency working capital to farmers. Employees Provident Fund. The last point states Employees Provident Fund contribution reduced to 10% for 3 months. This point is important. I'll explain that. Be careful. You must be working somewhere or your parents must be working somewhere. The deduction of EPF in their salaries, that is there. Earlier 12% employers used to deduct from employees' salary. 12%. Earlier it used to be the case. Now the deduction will be 10% only. So that sort of relaxation is there. Employer will be depositing 10% from his side. I was saying 10% from employee side will be deducted and 10% will be deposited there in EPF. Now you must be thinking, what is the benefit of it? The benefit is out of your salary, when 12% was getting debited, then you were taking 12% was getting debited, then you were taking less salary home. So I was saying now when the money 10%, when the EPF deduction will be 10% and not 12%, then your take home salary will increase. But that's not permanent. Please understand that. Read that carefully. I've written the duration that only for 3 months this is going to remain. Later on, government is going to change that. The duration for it has been decided that only for 3 months this relaxation will be given. Alright. From now on, I'll start the revision. And at the end, be careful, I'll show you the chart if you wish to acquire more and more information or more and more division or allocation of this particular 20 lakh crore package. I started with value of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, self-reliant India package, 20 lakh crores, 10% of GDP. Parameters, that means areas of focus which were actually set by the government, land, labor, liquidity, laws where they'll be spending this 20 lakh crore. 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is economy, that is infrastructure, that is system, that is vibrant demography and demand. Collateral free emergency credit line will be given to MSMEs and that money which will be spent here is 3 lakh crores. Scheme can be availed till 31st October 2020 and you have to keep that in mind too. Partial credit guarantee scheme for NBFCs, HFCs, MFIs, that means if there's any default happens on the payments given to these NBFCs, 20% partial guarantee, partial amount will be paid by the Government of India. Reduction TDS and reduction in TCS, that is 25%. Credit facility for street vendors up to 10,000 and 50 lakh street vendors will be benefited. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana credit linked subsidy scheme for middle income families 6 to 18 lakh per annum. It has got extended till March 31st, 2021. Viability gap funding by government for social infra increased from 20% to 30%. Liquidity scheme for NBFCs, that means they are making cash available, they are making capital available for NBFCs, HFCs and microfinance institutions, that is 30,000 crores. Limit of state borrowings increased from 3% to 5% of state's GSDP, that means gross state domestic product. Whatever they get, they'll be getting 5% of their GSDP as loan. Earlier they used to get loan of 3% out of their GSDP. Now they'll be getting 5% of it. Commercial mining, and government is inviting private players in that, and that sector is coal sector. No global tenders for government purchases up to 200 crores. General Financial Rules 2017, that was amended to make it available for Indians only. Rupees 2 lakh crore credit, 2.5 crore farmers under Kisan Credit Card Scheme. That means they'll be giving loan to farmers, and the loan amount will be 2 lakh crore. Up to 2 lakh crore they'll be providing to farmers, and 2.5 crore farmers will be benefited. Government to privatize non-strategic PSUs, government to privatize PSUs, strategic PSUs also, but I was saying in the lower point that number of PSUs in strategic sector which government can keep, that is 1 to 4 maximum. Rest of them they'll be privatizing, they'll be selling, they'll be disinvesting. Operation Greens was about top. It got extended to total. That means all fruits, all vegetables will be the part of it. Program launched for digital online education, that is PM eVidya. One Nation, One Digital Platform, that is Diksha. 1+1 Channel Initiative, DTH channels for school education, that is Swayam Prabha. Psychological counseling for students, for teachers, that is Manodarpan. Decriminalization of defaults under Companies Act. Interest equalization scheme, that was to support exporters, they'll be getting subsidy. So 31st March 2021, this has been extended. It was actually about to expire, so they have extended it till 31st March 2021. And 2% interest financial support, interest subvention, they'll be actually giving them the benefit, those who have actually taken Shishu Mudra loan, that means up to 50,000, if they prepay it, if they make prompt repayment within the duration of 12 months, they'll be paying 2% less. Kishore loan 50,000 to 5 lakh, Tarun loan 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Don't forget that. Mudra is Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency. Additional allocation under Manrega, 40,000 crores they have actually provided to Manrega. Fund of funds for MSMEs, 50,000 crores. Additional rupees 30,000 crore emergency working capital for farmers through NABARD. NABARD will be providing that. EPF contribution, Employees Provident Fund contribution reduced to 10% for 3 months. Now I will not be there in the video. You will be seeing a chart straight away. A few charts will be visible. If you wish, you can actually make notes from those charts. I'm wrapping up for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you.